From all of us at Second Ridge Ministries, we want to welcome you today to our discussion on Musk, Trump and Bible prophecy, grounding our discussion in Scripture while thoughtfully considering their roles in modern society. To start, we are looking at their influence in light of end-times prophecy, such as Daniel, Revelation, or Jesus' words in Matthew 24. We are also going to be discussing their impact on broader biblical principles like leadership, morality, and the use of wealth and power. This is going to be a deep and thought-provoking discussion, touching on both biblical prophecy and modern financial developments. Why don't you start us off with a bit of background?
Certainly. The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, is an initiative established by President Donald Trump through an executive order on January 20, 2025. Its primary goal is to modernize federal technology and software to maximize governmental efficiency and productivity. President Trump appointed Elon Musk to lead DOGE, tasking him with identifying and eliminating inefficiencies within the federal government. Since its inception, DOGE has proposed significant changes, including the elimination of federal agencies such as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, citing inefficiencies and cost savings. It is important to note that it is no coincidence that President Trump put Elon Musk in charge of money-related issues in the White House, as Elon Musk was founder of first consumer electronic money transfer service, PayPal. Elon Musk, as the founder of PayPal, has played a major role in shaping the digital finance world. By President Trump putting Musk in charge of financial matters, this then raises some interesting questions. Is this merely economic efficiency at work, or is it a deliberate step toward a new system of global finance? And, given Musk's vision for digital transactions and artificial intelligence, how does this align with the prophetic warnings of economic control?
Great questions. And we will be looking at that more closely as we continue with our discussion. Now, to improve efficiencies, one needs to standardize and thus centralize, am I correct?
Exactly. Efficiency in government operations often requires standardization, which naturally leads to centralization. By streamlining processes, eliminating redundancies, and enforcing uniform systems, DOGE would need to consolidate decision-making and oversight under a more centralized framework. This raises important questions. How much power should a single entity or leader have over financial and governmental systems? Historically, centralization has led to both increased efficiency and potential overreach. From a biblical perspective, centralization can be seen in stories like the Tower of Babel, Genesis 11 verses 1-9, where a unified system led to human arrogance and divine intervention. Similarly, in Revelation 13, prophecy describes a future global system where economic transactions are controlled, preventing people from buying or selling without compliance. Could DOGE's efforts to standardize government efficiency be a step towards such a system? If so, there are many spiritual and ethical implications we must consider.
Right. You mentioned preventing people from buying or selling without compliance. Isn't that what the elimination of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, would allow? Didn't that just happen recently?
Yes, the recent elimination of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, by the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has raised concerns about consumer protection in financial transactions. The CFPB was established after the 2008 financial crisis to safeguard consumers from predatory lending and financial fraud. Its dissolution could potentially leave consumers more vulnerable to unethical practices. From a biblical perspective, this development resonates with the prophecy in Revelation 13 verses 16-17, which speaks of a future where individuals cannot buy or sell without a specific mark, symbolizing a system of economic control. The removal of regulatory bodies like the CFPB could be seen as a step towards such centralized control, where the absence of consumer protections might lead to increased exploitation and manipulation in financial systems. This underscores the importance of vigilance and ethical considerations in the evolution of our economic structures.
What does the Bible say about a worldwide monetary system? A digital system?
The Bible does not explicitly mention a digital currency, but Revelation 13 verses 16-17 warns of a future system where the Antichrist will control commerce. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. This passage suggests a time when financial transactions will be centralized under a single authority, possibly a cashless system. A digital financial system, whether through electronic banking, cryptocurrency, or biometric transactions, could fit within this framework if it becomes mandatory and used to control access to commerce.
The US has been pushing us to accept a digital means of financial transactions for a very long time.
You are absolutely right. Over the past 150 years, the way we handle money has gradually shifted from physical to digital, often in quiet, incremental steps. It began as early as 1872, when Western Union introduced wire transfers, laying the groundwork for sending money electronically. In the early 20th century, checks started replacing cash for many transactions, gaining wide popularity by the 1950s and 60s. Then came credit cards, with Diners Club launching the first in 1950, quickly followed by broader adoption in the 60s. By the late 60s and into the 70s and 80s, bank ATM cards allowed customers to access their money without a teller. Rewards programs began popping up in the 1980s, especially with frequent flyer miles, eventually spreading to everyday retail. Meanwhile, arcade game machines in the 70s and 80s swapped real coins for tokens, and by the 90s, they were crediting players with points instead of displaying dollar values. That subtle shift toward a cashless mindset only accelerated into the digital age. Casinos stopped paying winnings in coins during the late 1990s and 2000s, switching to paper vouchers with ticket-in, ticket-out systems. Then, PayPal revolutionized internet payments in 1998, paving the way for platforms like Venmo and Zelle to become mainstream in the 2010s. With the rise of smartphones, digital wallets like Google Wallet, 2011, and Apple Pay, 2014, made it even easier to pay without physical cash. Now, electronic payment apps are widely connected to bank accounts, and mobile pay is common in stores, online, and even at vending machines. Taken together, these steps show how society has been slowly but surely nudged toward a fully digital financial system, without most people even noticing. This timeline shows the steady progression toward cashless, digital transactions, each step reinforcing centralization and automation in the global financial system.
You've listed many ways this transition has happened, and it's undeniable that we've moved further from physical currency toward electronic transactions. This aligns with the idea that a cashless system could eventually become the global standard, making it easier for a central power to regulate commerce. The question we must ask, is this purely a matter of convenience and technological progress, or is it paving the way for a biblically prophesied system of control?
I certainly understand your concerns regarding recent developments and their potential alignment with biblical prophecies. Let's look into this thoughtfully. Elon Musk, leading the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has proposed integrating blockchain technology into U.S. Treasury operations. This initiative aims to enhance transparency, track federal spending, and manage payments through decentralized systems. While proponents argue it could position the U.S. as a leader in blockchain innovation, critics caution about potential risks and the feasibility of such a transition.
The Bible talks about this very occurrence, doesn't it?
Absolutely. In the book of Revelation, particularly Revelation 13 verses 16 to 17, there's a depiction of a future where individuals cannot buy or sell without a specific mark, symbolizing a controlled economic system. The move towards a centralized, digital financial infrastructure could be perceived by some as a step towards such a system.
As if we needed more examples, let me ask you this. How long in U.S. history has been talk about doing away with coin or paper currency? For example, it's been said of the penny, and other coinage, that the cost to mint is more than the value of the coin or currency itself?
Yes. Most certainly so. We know that since at least the 1970s, there have been discussions about discontinuing the penny due to its cost. This push aligns with the broader move toward digital transactions. The trend away from coins and physical cash makes it easier to transition into a completely digital financial structure. On February 9, 2025, President Donald Trump announced that he had directed the U.S. Treasury Department to halt the production of the penny, citing its high manufacturing cost, nearly 4 cents per coin, and its diminished utility in an increasingly digital economy. The move to eliminate the penny potentially paves the way for a more digitized financial system.
The penny then is the start of all the rest of the currency becoming digital.
If the penny is eliminated, it won't stop there. The next logical step would be to phase out other coins and eventually paper money. This would leave only digital transactions, making every purchase trackable and, potentially, controllable. Once the US does this, it will force other nations it does business with to follow the same lead or accept its practice, either by request or by trade laws. Because the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, any shift toward a cashless economy here would likely push other nations to follow. If the US moves toward a purely digital currency, it could accelerate a global transition toward a centralized financial system.
We are therefore at the threshold of the biblical prophecy.
We would be deceived not to say it was so. Many Christians believe that a worldwide economic system controlled by a single authority is a key sign of the end times. If digital transactions become the only way to buy or sell, it could fulfill the warning of Revelation 13. The real concern is not digital currency itself, but whether it becomes a tool of total control.
What does the Bible say about those who lead us? About obeying them? Giving them what is due them? About praying for them?
With all that is going on in the world today, this is of utmost importance to remember. The Bible instructs us to respect and pray for our leaders. Romans 13 verses 1-2 reminds us, "Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities. For there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God." 1 Timothy 2 verses 1-2 urges us, first of all, that petitions, prayers, intercession and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings, and all those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. Matthew 22 verse 21 Jesus, himself, has told us, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's." We are called to be wise, discerning, and prayerful. While we respect leadership, we also remain vigilant and grounded in God's word, ensuring we do not compromise our faith for the sake of political or economic convenience.
Thank you for this amazing and eye-opening discussion. We want to also thank our listeners and offer them this one final thought. This is a crucial time for Christians to be watchful. The Bible tells us in Matthew 24 verse 42 to be aware of the signs of the times, while at the same time we are reminded in 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 to also not to live in fear. As financial systems shift, we must be prayerful and discerning about how these changes fit within God's plan. Thank you again for sharing with us. It has been a pleasure having you here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It has been my pleasure.